Your channel of choice, channel 405, we bring you the latest in the elections. It's the 29th of May 2024. It is a D-Day. Around 52 political parties that are contesting these elections, vying for your vote, and 11 independent candidates as well. But earlier on, we're in conversation with our reporter, Malungelo Boy, who was joining us from an area in the Eastern Cape where protest action have been taking place, and also IEC officials being blocked from doing their work. We were speaking about it a bit earlier on, Masego, but just a quick update in terms of what you just heard there from Malungelo Boy, including a resident saying that nobody will be voting today.
Indeed, our hope is that those who are charged with governance responsibilities can deal with the issue with the community. On our part, we will maintain presence in the area so that any member of that community who is inclined to exercise their political right and make a choice will be able to do so. We hope that those who are responsible for land claims will talk to the community so that we could extend the right to vote even to that community.
Does it concern you?
It concerns us that people opt out of the electoral process because of genuine grievances in some instances. It concerns us. We'd have hoped that all the governance issues would be resolved before an election day, and that the genuine protests by residents do not affect the right of other citizens who may be minded to participate and stop them from not doing so.
Yeah, and with such incidents, it's also about the IEC's staff members as well, who sometimes get caught in the crossfire. Indeed,
and in this community, it's already clear that staff members from that community will not be able to run those voting stations. We are already making arrangements to have people from outside of that community because there are real threats to people. If you live in a community and your members of the community say we're not going to participate, and you pitch up as an electoral staff, there have been instances of threats even after the close of voting stations, or even during the voting process. People get whispered to say we know where you live, and in that circumstances people become apprehensive. So in this community, when we open, we'll have people from outside of that community because they will not be susceptible to subtle intimidation as people who are from that community.
So are you saying that the electoral staff that has been deployed in Kiskamahok, that there will be a swap now that will be taking place because of this incident?
And to guarantee the safety of those people, it's best that we remove them from the local community in which they are resident.
Okay. Speak to us about other concerns leading up into the elections as well. And a bit earlier on, we're in conversation with General Musigidi about some of the hotspots, over 600 hotspots that you spoke about. But the major concerns for the IEC, where are those?
The major concerns for us were in the OR Tambo region in the Eastern Cape. However, we saw a major improvement yesterday. In two municipalities, at least in Port St. John's and Umtata, where we could not run special votes on Monday. We increased our teams of home visits, and we are happy to report that in Port St. John's, we've visited every household where a person had applied for special vote, and by 8 last night, we were left with a few people in 7 voting districts that had to vote by special votes in the Umtata area. So we are happy there that the actions of Monday did not disenfranchise voters who, but for a special vote, would have not been able to participate.
Mm-hmm. And this morning for election day, any concerns?
We've not received reports from that area that we have difficulties. Of course, we'll do a roundup in about 2 hours to check where we are operational, where we are not operational, and more importantly, to get a sense from the South African Police Department on their deployment plans and what it is that they are doing if we have intractable challenges.
Yeah. This year as well, what we've seen is a lot of court cases against the IEC. Where are you standing currently, and has there been any court case that has been brought before the IEC now that is before the Electoral Court?
We had a record number of cases for this election, majority of which implicated the ballot paper. We are happy to report that all those cases have been resolved, and there was no need for us to reprint the ballot or include candidates that were disqualified for one or the other reason. The only court cases now that are in front of the courts implicates the leadership of political parties, and in those cases the commission abides because it doesn't have an interest in who is the leader of the party. All that it needs is certainty so that it communicates with only the authorized representative of political parties.
Yeah. What's your message to political party leaders now?
To political party leaders, there are 27.7 million registered voters, so there are enough voters for all the parties. We ask that today we retreat, we give the space to voters to make their informed choice so that we can record that choice and translate that choice into representation in legislative assemblies.
Thank you so much for your time. Masego Shiburi there from the IEC.